I hope you're doing well. And now, to finish up our 2021 catalog, I will be doing the acoustic Louisiana blues album, Long Old Way from Home, Chicago Sessions, by Robert Pete Williams.
It's a long way away.
According to AllMusic, this album was actually recorded at two separate shows in 1965 at the University of Chicago, and then later compiled to be released in March of 2004. On that same album description in AllMusic, it refers to Robert Pete Williams as one of the last great old country blues players discovered in the 60s. Now, I know you know more about blues than I do, so maybe that makes sense to you. But personally, I've never really heard of Robert Pete Williams before. Not that I really hear all that much about early country blues players discovered in the 60s. But it also doesn't say who was doing the discovering, so... Well, it was nice to listen to music for a change of pace that I'm hoping continues for my next few reviews. I was kind of reminded that the vast majority of music is not fantastic, and it's not even good, nor is it horrendous or just plain bad. The vast majority of music is okay, it's mediocre, it's listenable, and that is where Long Old Way from Home sits for me, unfortunately, just right in that middle space. There are some interesting songs, there are some interesting parts of songs. There's actually a song called Kazoo Blues, which, as you might expect, has a kazoo as one of the key parts of it, with Robert Pete Williams almost like singing through it. But even that song I didn't really feel brought anything interesting to the table. I think the main thing keeping me from enjoying this album more is its overuse of repetition. Repetition can be an incredibly powerful tool in many, many different art mediums, but it can also be really easily abused. I wouldn't go as far as to say that this album abuses repetition, but when pretty much every verse is the same sentence repeated twice, followed by the same note on the guitar played about 6 times, it gets old pretty fast. If the songs you and I normally listen to are like a lazy river, and free jazz is like a straight shot down a river, I think I'd probably have to compare this album to a small neighborhood pool. There's some variation, sure, but within the first 5 seconds, you pretty much know exactly what you're getting, and there's not really anything new going to be introduced to that. I still went to our small neighborhood pool. It was a fine time. It just wasn't really my favorite. Admittedly, I may not have given this album really a fair shot. I only listened to it once all the way through, and then to a couple songs here and there, but it is still a musical medium. And when there's not really anything to the composition of the music, there's not really anything to make me want to listen deeper. So with all of that being said, I will be giving Long Old Way from Home by Robert Pete Williams a small neighborhood pool 2 out of 5. And now, without further ado, it's time for the second apology on the channel. Last week, I was 68 hours late on my upload, so you decided that I had to watch that many minutes of CoComelon. I've just started my timer for 1 hour and 8 minutes. I was 68 hours late. God, this is gonna suck. And it did. Honestly, I feel like I could talk more about CoComelon than I could about Long Old Way from Home. Like how the dog looks like this and has blush on it for some reason. And how the dad looks like this. Really creepy. Honestly, not as bad as I thought it was going to be, though. I kind of blacked out about 20 minutes in, as you can kind of tell. But yeah, don't think I'll be doing that again anytime soon. I'm looking forward to your video this coming Friday. I hope for your sake that it's on time. Have a happy new year, and I'll talk to you soon.